get as much as we can done. All right.
They are colors.
So, shall we start with?
We shall.
Hey, listen, I'm ready. Okay, I know some of you got a lot of this done, which was good, but let's go through and make sure you are prepared for tomorrow. Record. Oh, it is recording. Okay, so here we go. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. And angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Well, that should be the easiest proof ever, right?
Mhm.
Copy, paste. So now why is angle 1 congruent to angle 2 and angle 2 congruent, or angle 1 congruent to 3? Given. Why is angle 2 congruent to angle 3? Substitution. And then why is AB parallel to DC? Yeah, if alternate interior angles are congruent, lines are parallel. Easy as that. Okay, now again, number 2, some of you guys were asking me questions, and you know, it's kind of like just doing 2 proofs. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. So right off the bat, we'll just come down here. Try to come down here. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 5. Trouble today. All right. Well, we started this one. Angle 15 is congruent to angle 5. Angle 15 is congruent to angle 5. That is what? Given. And then angle, let me mark that. Angle 15 is congruent to angle 5. And then 13 is congruent to 15 because what? Vertical angle theorem. And then 5 is congruent to 13 by substitution. And then the lines are parallel. Right. If corresponding angles are congruent, lines are parallel. Then angle 1 is congruent to angle 5, given, and then they are congruent because yeah, that was easy. All right, is everybody okay with that? Now, is that the only way to do it? No, you can have alternate exterior, alternate interiors, corresponding. It doesn't matter. You just have to prove one of those things. All right. I do want you to remember that the corresponding angle is the what? Is the postulate. And all the others are theorems. Even though for me personally, I never wrote them out. I just wrote the reason down. All right. If you want to write converse of corresponding angle postulate, feel free. Everybody good with that? All right, moving forward. And again, the order in which you do this doesn't matter either. I would have started with angle 1 is congruent to angle 5, but again, this was a fill-in. Yes.
Were the things on the statements already there for you?
Well, what I do is I just copy, paste, and then white them out, and then I can cross them out, and then they'll reappear. And besides, I do think it's easier to write your own proofs. And some of you have been saying that. So I just whited all of them out, I think. Okay, guys, now this should be pretty easy. So I'm going to ask for the answers and then we can agree or disagree. So number 3, the slope was what? -1/2. And then number 4, slope is? Somebody said 13/4. Is everybody good with this?
Oh, wait, no.
Okay, LM What's the slope of LM? 2/3. And what's the slope of GR? Everybody happy with that? Parallel to GR. Find the slope of the line parallel to GR. -2/5. And what's the slope of the line perpendicular to PS? So we have to figure out what PS is now, right? So what's the slope of PS? 2. So the slope of the perpendicular would be -1/2. You guys, that should be easy. Well, see, what they want you to understand is it doesn't matter if something is parallel, it will have. So if something is perpendicular, it has the negative reciprocal. You with me? So this, you with me or not? The slope is 2. All right, now remember, guys. All right, now's the time. Details. All right, for tomorrow. Some of you are nervous. Don't be nervous. Just go with the details. If you make a mistake, remember what I told you. Generally on the test or whatever, I go back and look at the old proofs and just plot or just put in the old proofs. All right. So here we go. So let's just write this out so we're all good. So KM, what's the slope of KM? 7. And what's the slope of ST? 2/7? -2/7. So what is that? Neither, right? What's the slope of KM? And what's the slope of ST? So that means they are, yeah, perpendicular. Anybody need any assistance with that? Anybody have any issues? All right. Write the equation of the line in point slope form. Go ahead.
Y plus 2 equals -1/2. Parentheses X minus 2.
Perfect. Okay, something in standard form. All right, I'd like to just say the answer. So if you have the answer, Maren. 4x minus 3 equals. Did anybody else get that? Anybody else? If you need me to do it, I don't mind. But we've done that so much, I feel pretty good about it. Anybody have any questions with number 12? You gave me the answer.
I know, but I just have one question. Like
You gave me the answer.
but I was going between two things and I was writing it. Like how is it not 3 and it's -3? Because
Distribute the 3. You're really gonna make me do this.
it's
Right?
yes.
4x minus 3y equals -3. Number 13. Tell me, James, good.
Y equals 1/4 x plus 3.
Write the equation line that contains -4, 2 parallel. Anybody else? Like I said, I'm assuming you're right. Unless you can tell me different. Is that wrong?
I got
1/4 x plus 2. What did you get? Plus 2, James. So what was this? So we agree that it was 1/4, right? The slope is 1/4. So then it'd just be y minus 2 equals 1/4 times x plus 4 like this, right? Is that correct? Y minus 2 equals 1/4 x plus 1. Right? Then when we add 2, y equals.
Yeah.
because I'm trying to put it in point slope form. I'm sorry, slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. You with me? Standard form, I'd multiply by 4. You with me? Is that better? What?
So do you have to do the point slope from every time to find the y-intercept?
No,
Is it sometimes in just the point?
it depends on what form they're asking for. Slope intercept form. So we want it in this format. We started out in point slope form because we had a point and we had a slope. Then depending upon the form that you want, that's the decision that you make. Is anybody else? So he was correct. All right, 14. So tell me,
2x minus 3y equals -2.
anybody else get that? Chloe,
I thought 2x minus 3y equals 1.
what'd you get?
I have 2x minus 3y equals -6.
Wow. And what'd you get?
I thought 3x plus 2y equals -1.
Good. Anybody else? So now I think this is one everybody should star and just make sure you do it over because we got lots of different answers. So what was the slope of EK? Do we agree that it's 2/3? So 4 minus -2 would be 6, right?
Yeah.
And then -2 minus 2 would be -4, so it's -3/2, right?
Yes.
So we want the perpendicular, right?
Oh, okay.
So the slope of the perpendicular would be 2/3. Is that good? Everybody okay with that? And so now we would say y minus 0 equals 2/3 times x plus 3, right? Multiply by 3, 3y, I'm sorry, 3y equals 2x plus 6. So then 2x minus 3y equals -6. Yes.
How did you get 6 times the 2 by the 3?
Yeah, you distribute the 2, remember?
I thought you just did the 3.
I distribute the 3 over here.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying, right? I'm trying to get rid of the fractions because standard form, you have no fractions. You with me or not? You good? What?
Why is the 6 negative?
3y comes over here. 6 goes over here.
Okay.
Find the x and y intercept. So to find the x-intercept, we get what? 5, 0. The y-intercept,
-2, 0, -2.
0, -2. Anybody have any issues with that? Nobody? All right, so let me just go through this whole thing. I just want to see what's up there. Okay, so now we have parallel lines. So AB, AB. Prove angle 1 is congruent to angle 16. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll listen. All right, someone help me with 16. Go.
A is parallel to B and C is parallel to C.
Yeah, so we have the given.
And then I did angle 1 is congruent to angle 14. The front parallel to the exterior angles of the.
So she said right off the bat, angle 1 is congruent to angle 14. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. Okay,
And then I did angle 14 is congruent to angle 16. Its lines are parallel. Corresponding angles. are
angle
congruent.
14 is congruent to angle 16. Those are corresponding angles are congruent.
And then I did angle 1 is congruent to angle 16 and then translated.
Now, there are so many ways to do that. You don't have to do that way. Does everybody agree with me? There's so many ways. You can use all different kinds. All right, does anybody want to say theirs real quick and let me check yours? Go, Lexi.
I did angle 8 is congruent to angle 16 is a corresponding.
Yep,
And then I did the 8 was congruent to angle 1.
yeah, that's perfect. I got you. That's it. Tell me.
Can you just say that, angle 1 equals angle 16, because the lines are, parallel, alternate exteriors are congruent?
Okay, so I'm glad you said that, but no. All right, so let me show you why. Look up there on board. So your problem is that you're looking at alternate exterior angles from two different lines. All right, so what I want to do is I want to change A, okay? A line A, I'm going to change. So line A would be this way. That's how you should be thinking about it. So is this corresponding or is that alternate with 16 at all? You see what I'm saying, right? They're on two separate parallel lines. Agreed? All right, so that's a good mistake. All right, anybody else? Anybody else have any questions with that? And I feel like that's kind of the same thing, right? We want to prove 9 is congruent to 8. Does everybody agree that's kind of the same? Right? So if you did the one before that, this was kind of easy. Any issues? Go.
How would you, what would you say that, angle 9 was congruent to the angle 8 was also congruent to? Remember?
Well, that's what I want you to tell me, kiddo. So you try to do it now. All right. And don't worry about it. All right. Just, you're trying to get to 9 and 8, right? So you have to make a connection between 9 and another angle that's related to 8. So angle 9 is congruent to what? What do you want to say?
Angle 6?
Okay, that's perfect. Why is that?
Because the alternate interior,
That's right. And so now what's the relationship between 6 and 8?
they're corresponding.
That's correct. So now,
Angle 9.
yep,
Congruent to angle 8.
you're right. Substitution. True. It's not by corresponding or alternate interior or alternate exterior or anything like that.
Could you also say transitive?
Yes, of course. Good now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Let's check out 18 now. All right, now look, again, guys, I don't want to spend time. All right, so you tell me the answer, and if we need to discuss it, we will. Be brave. Tell me.
Me?
Somebody,
18.
18 is what? D. That was really easy. That's embarrassing. That's on an SAT test. All right, that's embarrassing. All right, 19. All right. What is 19? This is one I really want you guys to do better at. This is on the SAT also.
I got D.
D, because we're talking about what? The Y intercept, guys. Do you agree we're talking about the Y intercept? So if that's the Y intercept, it's not talking about the slope, is it? I don't think it's talking about the slope. Does everybody agree? So it's really not talking about something increasing. What is it, Michaela?
I got A.
It is A. All right, the y, because it's the y-intercept, that's when x equals 0. What is 0? Temperature. 0 is temperature. Please listen to what I'm just saying on that and make sure you understand that. For most kids, guess what? That is really hard. I have no idea why that's really hard. If you understand what intercept means, all right? If you don't, I want to explain it. What?
I don't understand how you know that. It's the speed of light.
Okay, so let's do this. First of all, let's break this down. Do you understand that's the y-intercept?
No.
Well, you have to know y equals mx plus b, kiddo. Do you understand this is a line?
Yes.
Okay, so the 331 would be for what letter?
B.
That's the y-intercept, right? So to find the y-intercept, that's when the x value is 0, true? But in this case, they're trying to confuse you because they're not using x and y. So in this case, what is the x value? What's the x letter?
T.
T. Agreed?
Yes.
So if the T is 0, that's what they're talking about. And T is temperature. All right. It's the temperature, the speed of sound at that temperature.
How do you know it's not, never mind.
Come on. How do I know it's not what?
An increase in speed of sound.
Because it's not talking about the what? Slope. When something is increasing and decreasing, they're talking about the what?
Slope.
Slope. That's the change in speed of sound over the change in temperature. That would be if it was talking about the 0.6.
And how would it not be B then? Because it can't be this, the slope can't be the.
Okay,
degree.
what is the y-intercept again? It's when the x value is 0.
Yeah.
T is not 0 in this case. T is 0.6. You understand the difference now? All right. Really, really important information, guys. All right, learn it now and you will dazzle people in the future. All right, 20. Anybody have any doubts about that? Does anybody want me to remind you how to do it on the calculator so we can double check your answer? Let's do that on the calculator real quick. Pull it out. Let's go. Chop, chop, chop. All right. So on your calculator, whenever you want to write the equation of a line, you're right. Stat. And then you go to edit. And then L1 pops up and L2 pops up. L1 is what? And L2 is what? There you have it. L1 is X and L2 is Y. Everybody good with this? And then you just type in 135 and 5, 13, 21. Then after you type those in, if you recall, you go to stat, you go over to calc, and you go down to linear regression, which I think is 4. And then hit enter all the way through, and it should spit out the answer. Is that right? C. Really nice, really nice. All right, if you can do that. All right, any questions? Okay, so for 21, do we agree 1/9? Anybody have any questions? All right, 22. Somebody said C, C and B.
I don't see.
Okay, so let's look. They're parallel, right? So to me, parallel. So automatically I'm looking at corresponding angles, hopefully. So ACE is 62. This guy right here is 62. BDC is 58, right? This guy right here is 58. which means this guy right here is going to be what?
Only 50.
58, right? Because those are corresponding angles. Agreed? And then you just have to know the angles of a triangle add up to what? 180, right? Does everybody agree with me? Angles of a triangle add up to 180. So that means this angle down here must be what? 60, same as this, 60. All right, nice little problem there. What?
So isn't the angle ACE and CAE kind of the same thing?
Say that again.
Aren't ACE and CAE the same thing?
Why is that?
I mean, they're just. the
That has to
same-
be isosceles. Does it tell you it's isosceles?
No,
So you don't know they're equal,
no.
right? Yeah, I believe the correct answer is B. All right, here we go. 23. What do we got? E. Anybody? Everybody got E. No one needs an explanation. All right, I'm pretty happy with me. What? Go.
Explain to me what it means when it says y-intercept. It says the y-intercept is 3 times the y-intercept of y.
So what's the y-intercept of L?
Um, I don't know,
Come on, where does it cross the y-axis?
2.
There you go. That's all that means. So if the y-intercept is 2, the new one is 3 times that. So we know it's not A, B, or C. You with me?
Yeah.
Now you calculate the slope, and the new slope is half. Agreed? Move on. All right. What about 24? Which of the following is the graph? That's embarrassing too. Which one? A? Anybody need help with that? All right, finally, one that's a little bit more challenging, number 25. Somebody. What'd you get?
B.
Somebody said B. Anybody? B. So remember, if something has infinitely many solutions, it just means it's what? It's the same line. Does everybody agree? Infinitely many solutions mean it has the same line. So this over here is exactly the same as this over here. Does everybody agree with this? So I want everything on the left to be X. Does everybody agree? So 8X minus 2CX minus 2X has to equal X. So what's 8X minus 2X? 6X minus 2CX has to equal X. Now, there's lots of things you could do, but does everybody agree? I want this right here to equal 5X, right? Now, why do I want it to equal 5X? Because 6X minus 5X would be what? 1X. All right, but let's say you don't like that. All right, what I would like everybody to see is I could divide everything through by X because there is a common X. And you would have 6 minus 2C equals 1. So 2C equals 5, so C equals 5 over 2. For those of you guys who knew that, that's a really good job. That was really kind of hard. What?
You said that if it has infinitely many solutions, it's just the same lines. What's that mean?
If I have 2 lines, how many intersection points does this have?
None.
None. How many intersections does it have right now?
One,
So how many does it have now?
2, 3, 4.
Infinite. It's the same line. It crosses or it touches all the time. All right. All right. Here we go. Somebody said C so far. C. Well, we know right off the bat that the y-intercept's about what?
54.
We know it's about 54. Wow. Is it that easy? What?
Are the dots the predictions or the actual?
What do you think?
I don't know.
What do they call this line right here?
Line of best fit.
A line of best fit. So are those the actual points or are those not the actual points?
So those are the predictions.
Right.
Okay.
The points are the actual. All right, is everybody okay with that one being C? All right, another really important one, 50.25. Now, come on, think this through. 50.25 is talking about the what? Talking about the slope. All right, so we must be talking about something that is what? Increasing. All right, so it's not what? It's not A or B. So what is increasing? The cost or the time?
Time. No, the cost.
The cost, because it's the change in C over the change in T. So is it the approximate increase in the average cost or the approximate increase in years?
The average increase in cost.
It's a cost. Right? Once you know that, it's, man, it's so easy. All right, but everybody makes a mistake because they look at 50.25 and relate it to T. It is not related to T. It's related to what? C. All right, it's related to C. What?
I understand why it's not related to T, but why is it there if it's related to C? Like, why is T there if it's related to C?
So you're asking me to define the slope for you. So you have to understand what slope means. Slope is the change in C over the change in T, right?
Right.
So if you relate that to 50.25 over 1, the 50.25 is to the C and the 1 is to the T.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And I always say if I was making up math, I would have just done delta X over delta Y and made life easy.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a definite reason why it can't be that way. All right, here we go. Again, 28, what's the slope?
G.
G, everybody happy? And 29, what is the slope and the y-intercept?
B.
What is it?
I got B.
Somebody said B, somebody said A. So if I move the X and the Y, they both become what? You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And then when we divide by 4. So I believe A is correct. Do you see that now?
Yes.
All right. Little mistakes, not a big deal. Any issues with 29? All right. 30. How many more?
2
All right. What time's the bell ring?
more. Oh, wait,
All right. So again, I feel like this is really similar. A and B and C and D are parallel. And we're trying to prove that angle 2 plus the measure of angle 11 equals 180 degrees. Someone want to give it a shot? Tell me.
A is parallel to B and C is parallel to B.
I'm listening.
And then 2 and angle 2 and angle 10 are congruent.
Angle 2 and angle 10 are congruent. Why?
Because they're corresponding angles.
Right?
And then angle 10 and 11 are congruent.
Not congruent. You mean supplementary.
Yes, supplementary.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Because why?
Hmm?
Because why?
They form a linear pair.
No. Because they're consecutive interior angles.
Oh, yeah.
True. All right, so let's go ahead. Number 1 was the given. All right, number 2, he said that angle 2 is congruent to angle 10, and that was corresponding angles are congruent. And then we're going to say angle 10 and angle 11 are supplementary because consecutive interior angles are supplementary. And then what are we gonna have to say after we say they're supplementary? We have to say that they do what?
Equal 180.
They equal 180. And definition of supplementary. And then we can do what?
Angle 2 plus angle 11 equals 180.
Right, angle 2 plus angle 11 equals 180, and that's just a what? Substitution. You can do it with any of those angles, though. You guys know that, right? It doesn't have to be those particular ones. There's so many different possibilities there. You just have to figure it out. All right. I wouldn't expect you to have that. All right. I wouldn't. All right. You can pick any consecutive interior angles. All right. And relate them. All right. Let's knock out 31. If two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, then the same side exterior angles are supplementary. Okay, I kind of like this. All right, so what is the given, guys? I made you write this one out. What's the given?
I put angle 2 and angle 3 are supplementary.
No.
The measure.
What is the given? Tell me, Lex.
I put the M parallel to N.
Yes. If two lines are parallel. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
All right. So M, thank you, Lexi, is parallel to N. All right. And then what are we trying to prove? Lexi? We're trying to prove that angle 1 is supplementary to angle 1, or I'm sorry, angle 3. You agree with that? That's what we're trying to prove, right? All right, guys. Please just study those and review your old proofs now. Go back and review your old proofs. There's only one more to go.